this was just a fantastic little village, only accessible by boat, and this is where the men hung out. Like I said, people at the refineries, a lot of them work shift work, so they'll have a week off once a month. So this is where they live. Not too many people have come back just yet. This was a lot of fun back here back in the day.
Of course, when that wave came, this wasn't even a speed bump. That's a new levee up here. I don't remember the height. It's like 29, I think. And of course, the old levees was 17.
It's marked.
Is it?
The other one is.
We're going out into the ship channel, this river. Maybe we call it the Mystic River.
So these are actually flood gates. They'll close these to make a barrier.
It's the biggest flood wall in the world.
But you can see the thickness of it, the height of it. Imagine the concrete that it took to put those together.
And how far down in?
Right. And remember, these are the T type, not the I type or the L type, to avoid the toppling. This is the line between Jefferson Parish and Orleans Parish. It's the 17th Street Canal, it's called. This is where the large levee breach took place during Katrina that inundated all of Lakeview and a very large portion of the city. As you can see that the water level is very low now, but you can see that it is above the home line. This area is the new pumping station that came about because of it. It's probably 4 times as big as it used to be, and obviously it's in a much greater height. One of the issues that came about with the pumping station failures, well, they were too low. So water got into them, and it stopped the turbines from pumping. So if it can't get the water out, and it's coming in by the hundreds of thousands of barrels, you just can't keep up, so what do you have to? You have to have flooding. Does it make us feel more secure? I think so. We felt secure before, but never had a storm of that magnitude hit at just the right spot. This is the Lakeview area that was really inundated, probably the hardest hit area in New Orleans itself, New Orleans proper itself. Each one of these areas, there are probably 1, 2, 3 homes were here. And now, as you can see, there's only the vacant ground that the slab would have been removed from on these 2 lots, and there's actually been filled in on that lot. But this is a good example of a private residence that would have been here that somebody owns that the FEMA and the road home, the state of Louisiana, didn't pay for. Right here, the water would have been over the roof of that house. This is my son's home that he built. He actually was able to take advantage of a contractor friend of ours, got in touch and said, I'm trying to test to see if Lakeview is going to be a viable place to start building homes. He says, what I'll do is I'll build you a home at my cost. You pay all the money, you know, all the costs for it and everything as we go along. And if it gets to where we see that people are wanting more and more of it, we'll go ahead and do that. If things get too bad, we'll just put it up for sale. So he was able to get in at a contractor's price. And in his case, he bought the lot for $45,000. That lot would easily be $100,000 now. Opportunity. This is some of the area that was, this is really the hardest hit area of New Orleans. So you see some of the houses are finally collapsing. You could see how it really was whacked in the 9th Ward break. You know, the streets are barely, I mean, it looks like a path in the woods almost. But virtually none of these houses survived. And this is what they look like. Make It Right is the thing for Brad and Angelina. Brightly colored, unusual formations. They're supposed to be constructed with storms in mind. It's got an X on it, you could barely see it. But it's got the date, 9/22. So that means that's the day they came in and inspected this home for bodies. On this side, it would say, who was the group that did it? And they'd go through the home and inspect it and into the attic to see if there were any bodies. If there were, there would be a number under here. This house maybe didn't pass structural engineer reports. You see how it's probably bowed out from the pressure of the water being inside the house still. So it would knock it off its foundations. So many times you couldn't repair the home. The numbers on the street, that denotes that this lots are owned by the city of New Orleans. Because that's the addresses where there were homes, but they're required to maintain the property. As opposed to this one that doesn't have a street number on it, so that means it's privately owned. So somebody's supposed to be taking care of that lot the same way they take care of these. This is Holy Cross High School, one of the oldest schools in the city, 1840. And they bought this from the Archdiocese of New Orleans, this land, and it's now virtually like a college campus, built with FEMA funds.
You see a school like that and you realize just how much good can come out of like a federally funded project.
Right.